Alright, well, greetings from my backyard once again. And a little over a week ago, I uploaded a video about doing a question and answer type session thing. And in that video, I gave you the opportunity to ask questions. So in this video, I'm going to answer the questions. Just kind of chilling in my backyard. You might hear a little traffic noise up there. Got my laptop down here, which, okay, it shut off. I'll get back to you in a moment. It shut off. I've been sitting for a little while. Turn it back on. Maybe. All right, I'll get back to you. Oh, there it comes. Comes back on. So I'm just on battery power down here. Let me get back to you. All right, we are on. So I'm just gonna use my laptop. I had started writing the questions down in the notebook, and I realized I can just come down here and read off my laptop. I do get a faint signal down here. All right, so there were quite a few questions. So let's get going through these. Like I said when I made the other video, I'm not gonna spend a ton of time answering questions that don't take a ton of time to answer. Some were a bit more thought-provoking, and there's some I still not quite sure I know how to answer. So anyway, let's get on with this. Well, I got the coffee down here too. All right, I do my reading glasses down here, but I think I can read without. All right, do you see lots of wildlife on your hikes? Particularly like bats and caves? Yeah, I mean, I see plenty of wildlife on the hikes. It all depends on the hike you're on. Some hikes you may not see much. That's just the way it is. On other hikes I see quite a bit. I mean, I do try to get them on film, but you know, wildlife doesn't always cooperate with that. But yeah, you do see plenty of wildlife. And if I do go in caves, yeah, you can see bats. I mean, the bat population has been decimated in the past couple of years because of that white nose syndrome thing. So, all right, how long have you been teaching? Let's just say since 2002. You can do the math. How long have you been on YouTube? This summer will be 6 years. How is your friend John doing? And they also asked, how much more of the AT in Pennsylvania do you need to do? I think about 52 miles I need to do yet in Pennsylvania on the AT. And as far as John is doing, he's doing pretty good. He's healed up well. He's feeling better. Some of the problems he's having is just with some assistance that he needs, let's say financially, from like disability stuff. He's applied for it, but he's been rejected several times, which is nonsense because his reasons are legit, but the system, I don't want to say too much, but the system is kind of broken here in Pennsylvania. There's people on getting that type of help that don't really need it, and then people like John who actually could use it can't get it. So yeah, I could say a lot more about that, but other than that, he's doing pretty good. So all right, have you ever created a trail, one that didn't officially exist, that you thought was more interesting than the one of the public trails? I do go off trail, but as far as creating my own trail, I don't create my own trails. That's not going to be necessarily be looked well upon if you're, especially on public land like state parks and stuff, state forests. You don't make your own trail. But yeah, I mean, if you mean going off, I do go off trail quite a bit. But as far as creating my own trail, I don't do that. Let's see here. What is the most unusual sight you've ever seen in your travels in the forest? Yeah, this one, I don't really know how to answer that one. Most unusual sight. Let me get back to you on that one. Yeah, that's kind of a difficult question. I've seen so many things. But the one thing I guess kind of popped in my mind is certain places I've hiked, like in coal mining country, where there's just, you go up the side of the mountain and there's just this huge like pit, and you see shafts descending down into the depths. I mean, that's just, it's scary but fascinating, so maybe I'll just go with that. I don't know if that's what you mean by unusual, but is John doing more videos with you? Yeah, he probably will be in the future. I mean, he's working full-time again now, which he probably shouldn't be, but that goes back to that whole issues he's having with getting assistance. But he's got bills to pay. His doctors aren't too happy with it either, but I mean, he's not getting the help he needs, so anyway, I could say more about that, but I'll let it go. But yes, he probably will be at some point in the future, maybe. Have you ever given thought to a meetup education class for foraging, edible fungus, herbs, and plants? I don't know. I'm not sure what to say about that. I've kind of been avoiding meetups lately. Of course, this past year was kind of tough with meetups, but I'm not sure. Meetups are a whole nother, especially even if it's just my own meetup. Meetups are just a whole nother. That's just a whole nother ball game there. We'll see. I mean, I might think about it, but we'll see. I don't have any plans for doing it like this year, so. What must-have items would you recommend any day tripper has in their backpack before heading out? Oh boy, that's a very subjective question, and depending on who you are, I've seen people, there's flies around. I've seen people hike, you know, because you're talking about just a day hike. I mean, I've seen people pack for a day hike like they're gonna hike the whole Appalachian Trail, and then there's other people who take nothing along. It's just kind of not smart either. But I would definitely recommend some snacks, at least water, especially in the summertime. I have like a little first aid kit, things like that. I'm trying to think what else I have in my bag, because I have my different filming gear I keep in my bag. You know, just consider, sometimes just go for a couple hikes and keep in mind, oh, I just caught a fly with my fingers. Get out of here. I'll just try going a couple hikes, then you can kind of figure out what you need too by, you know, just doing it and seeing what you wish you would have brought along on that day hike. I mean, you could watch other people's videos too, but there's a whole realm of ideas what to bring, what to take along. If on a day hike, at least take food and water. It depends on how long that hike is going to be. A med kit, a GPS, compass are good things to bring along. I did a video of that once, some time ago. With the prevalence of crime and robbery on the trails, do you carry a GUN, we'll call it, on your for protection? No, I don't. I don't carry one. I know I've considered it at times, but I just don't really feel the need to. I know it's a very hot topic. Sometimes people talk about carrying one. I just don't. I feel safe out in the woods, to be honest. You know, there's more crime occurs in the cities and stuff than it does out in the woods. I mean, there's times I've come across shady people, but I don't know. I don't personally really feel a need to one. I know I made a video about that once, talk about that, and some people suggested that because I don't carry one that I'm not a man or something like that. It was weird. People have really weird ideas about that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's move on. But no, I don't. What do you feel is the most remote part of PA, or otherwise you've been, most remote part of PA? Yeah, one of our most remote places, I think it's the second largest roadless area in Pennsylvania, is a place called Stony Valley. It's actually here in southeastern PA. Pretty remote. When you're out there, you can pretty much be assured there's not too many other people out there with you. But I'm sure there's other more remote places that I just haven't been to yet, but that's one of the areas, most remote areas, I would say. Have you ever run into rattlesnakes or copperheads? Yes, quite often sometimes. Not this year yet. If you do, what do you take care not to get bitten? I don't really do anything to not get bitten. I just leave them alone. If you just leave them alone, they're going to leave you alone. Snakes don't like come after you. At least here in Pennsylvania, they don't, or anywhere in the east here, they don't like chase you down. So just, if I see one, I'm excited to see one. I'll take some pictures and film it. But yeah, I just leave them alone. Just walk around them, and they won't bother you. Would you identify more trees on every hike? We'll see. I know I've been trying to do a little bit more about that, but sometimes I forget. There's a lot of things I want to do on my hikes, but I guess I'll try to work on that. Do you think you will get to the Wayne County High Point this summer? We'll see. I kind of have a trip planned up that way to get to what is it, Promised Land State Park. What is it? There's some state parks up there I haven't been to yet. Varden, Prompton, and then maybe do the Wayne and Susquehanna County High Points. We'll see. I have a lot of things I want to do. What video editing software do you use? It is called Animotica. I'll try to put it down here. Animotica. It's not a common one or well-known one. I know there's more expensive and more complex ones you can get, but it works for me. When I first started, I just used Windows Movie Maker, which is pretty basic. But when I got my new computer, here Windows 10, they didn't have Windows Movie Maker on it anymore. But I think I think you can get it again. I forget how it goes. But so I went to the App Store, I guess that's what you call it, and found this Animotica. It was free, but the free version has a little watermark on it that you don't really want in your videos. So you can either pay $4 or $10. I paid the $10 to get the better version. It's worked for me. Like I said, there's tons out there. Here's a. Would you come to Germany to go into your basically? Would you come to Germany to check out your family history? Yeah, I would. I mean, not right now because of world travel's a little difficult now. But yeah, I mean that's something I would wouldn't mind doing someday, going to Germany. I had thought about in the past, even before I started a YouTube channel, about checking out my family heritage. I think it starts in Austria and Germany, so that'd be cool, but not this summer. All right, I'm really curious to know how you feel about showcasing sensitive ecological areas in your videos that may receive increased visitor attention after people view them. Do you ever have concerns or more dilemmas about such unique areas being potentially damaged by careless visitors? Someone commented, no, he doesn't. They're all public areas. Anyone can go there. Okay, that was someone else's answer. Yes and no. Every once in a while, I will not give the exact location of a spot. But these days, I just stick to strictly public places. So, yeah, I mean, if I go somewhere, it is public. You can go there if you want to. I don't know that most of my viewers are careless hikers. I think most of my people that view my channel are more conscientious people, but you know, I could be wrong about a few folks. So but I don't really. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. Let me think about that for a moment. So yeah, that is a bit of a difficult question to answer. I mean, there's a balance between wanting to share places with people that are cool to visit, and then there's always the chance of careless people going there. And that's the way it is in the caving. When you visit caves. That's why caves are so difficult to visit sometimes. A lot of them are locked up because, I mean, there are responsible people, but then there's the careless, non-responsible people that trash places and graffiti places. So there's a balance. I'm not quite sure sometimes where I fit into that. I'm in need of a new phone. My phone, I don't use my phone to film, so I think that's what you want to know. If so, I use, what I film with is a Sony AX43. That's where the great zoom comes from that you see. He was asking about the smartphone that I use is the Google Pixel 4a. I don't use it for film. I'm not really sure if it has much of a zoom, but yeah, I hope that answers your question. I don't film with my phone. Alright, how do you avoid ticks? I knew these questions would come. I think the quick, easy answer is I don't avoid them. I don't really know that there is a way to fully avoid them. I know some people go overkill. I've seen people wear like just beekeeper outfits out in the woods just to try and avoid getting ticks. I do wear long pants when I hike. It just helps keep them off your skin. But things you can do is like when you get home, you know, change clothes or take a shower, or just check yourself. I don't really know that there's. I mean, you can go overkill on the bug spray or the DEET, but some of that stuff is toxic in and of itself. So, if you're gonna do any amount of hiking in the woods, you're gonna get ticks. So it's more about prevention, just checking after you're done with the hike. Have you ever gotten yourself in trouble in the forest? Yeah, I guess. I think someone asked if I ever got lost years ago before I started filming. Me and my friend John were out exploring a pretty remote area, and neither one of us was like paying attention on the way back, and we kind of took a wrong turn and ended up where we weren't supposed to end up. But thankfully he had a GPS on his phone and we were able to figure things out. But that was an interesting situation. Your journals look like you put a lot of time and effort. Do you plan on publishing some of them? Not anytime soon. I got a lot of other things I'm kind of working on right now. Think about getting a website started for things I do and stuff like that, and I still want to get that merch store started. So I got other things on my mind. Maybe someday I'll look at getting them published. Most of them aren't even done yet too, so I'd have to wait till they were done. You were very knowledgeable about the plants you encounter. Could you add more information about which ones are edible, especially the mushrooms and stuff? We'll see. I know last summer I was doing a series on edible and medicinal plants, but picking just one plant and I might pick that up again. I guess part of the problem this summer is I have so many places and things I want to film this summer. But we'll see. Like someone said about talking more about trees, we'll see. I'll try to keep these things in mind. Pass those. What recommendations do you have for field guides or apps? Field guides. I mean, whatever works for you for field guides. I have a couple different kinds at home. You know, some have paintings in them and some are more photographs. It all depends on what you like. As far as apps go, yeah, I don't really use apps so much on my phone for that. I know someone recommended there's an app that you can take a picture of or show the plant on your phone, and your phone will tell you what the plant is. I think it's called Plant something. A couple of people have told me about it. I don't use it because you have to be in an area that has internet service or cell service in order to be able to use some of those apps. And there's a lot of places I'm at don't have that sometimes, but I don't really use online apps for field guides so much. If that answers your question there. If you're talking about hiking trails, there's an app called All Trails that a lot of people use. Have you ever considered getting a tiny home on an acre of land or so? Yes, I have actually. I think I mentioned in a previous video about just getting like an acre or two of land, and putting a bus on it and converting the bus into a home. Or even just a small tiny cabin. Yes, so yeah, I have thought about that. I think someone else asked a question about living off grid, so I have thought about that. What area of Pennsylvania do you like to travel to the most? Oh boy, I don't know. I haven't been to all areas in Pennsylvania yet, so that's kind of difficult to answer. I don't know. I have a lot of good memories of being up in Tioga County, Pennsylvania. A lot of good childhood memories. That's where my uncle's cabin is, so maybe I'll just say that. What area do you consider to be the most scenic? Has nice towns and some of the best hiking trails. That's wow. Like I said, I haven't been to all places yet. I mean, just recently I was out in the Laurel Highlands, Ohio State Park, out in southwestern PA. That was a pretty cool spot. Will you be doing anything around Uniontown, PA? Yes, I was just there. You've probably already seen those videos yet. I was down in Ohio State Park. I noticed you like to hike and climb quite a bit. Given the opportunity, would you ever consider going to the top of Mount Everest? Oh boy. Let me gather my thoughts on that one. Yeah, I've thought about it. I've watched videos about it. It's pretty intense though. I mean, like the last however many feet, the 2,000 feet or so is called the death zone. So yeah, and I forget what percent, there's a certain percentage of people that attempt to hike and never make it home. So that's something to consider too. I mean, you gotta, yeah, I don't have any mountaineering experience, so that's one thing. The other thing to consider too with Mount Everest is that it is almost it's becoming overly touristy. So many people are trying it now. Like, watch videos of there's long lines of people trying to get to the top. It's kind of nuts. It would be cool to at least go to what they call the base camp, the Everest base camp, and see Mount Everest. I don't know. You also need a lot of money to do that, to get on an expedition and climb it. But it's, I don't know. If the opportunity presented itself, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. It's not sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you know what? If the opportunity presented itself, someone messaged me and said, "Hey, we'll pay for your trip to Mount Everest." You know what? I'd give it a try. Whether I made it or not, you know, at least I tried. I guess it would be interesting. All right. Oh, that's that one. Yeah, someone commented about how in my first video I made about this video, I was telling people not to ask silly questions and stuff. I guess she took that the wrong way. She says the silly questions are meant to be funny and not rude. And some of them are meant to be funny, but I do have stalkers and trolls and those kinds of people around here. So some of the questions are not always meant to be funny. They're meant to be trollish. That makes sense. But I understand what you're saying too, though. But I wasn't meaning the people that were trying to make funny comments, but the people that are just making annoying stuff. Anyway, where did you get your backpack? I think I got it at Cabela's. I live in Lebanon, PA, and looking to get back into hiking. Where should I start? Go to Swatara State Park. That's a good place to start. Okay, don't have a question. Have you ever found a morel? Yes, those are mushrooms. I found them several times. Whenever I go looking specifically for them, I never find them, but when I'm not looking for them, then I do find them. So yes, I have found some. Do you use an app for finding trails in your area? No, I don't. I just kind of do a lot of research online. Like I said, there's an app called All Trails that I know a lot of people use, but some people have had difficulty with it because some of the trails that are marked on All Trails are not actually trails. It's just bushwhack trails that people have made, so you gotta be careful about that. Flies are getting bad. Alright, do you know how many miles you walk on your adventures? Do you use a Fitbit or other thing? Nope, I don't. I usually don't keep track of how many miles. I mean, I do in a way. You know, generally you walk about 2 miles per hour or hike. So if a hike takes me 2 hours, I know I've done about 4 miles. But I'm not a huge into keeping track, and I don't have a Fitbit or anything about that, or keeping track of things like that. Would you ever consider doing a nationally syndicated hiking show? Probably not. Most of those most of that TV stuff is fake, and you can't really be yourself anyway. A lot of that stuff is just not. It's just not real. You know, they tell you. Trucks going by. They tell you where to hike, how to act, you know, and all that stuff. And I'm not really into that. So probably not, to be honest. Have you ever visited the western side of the state recently? Yes, I did just recently, and last year I was out there too, last December. Talking about Ohio Pile. I was at Ohio Pile there. Have you ever considered coming to southeastern Ohio area? Maybe someday I will, but it's not on my list right now. I kind of have been working on an Ohio trip. I want to go out and see like what's called Serpent Mound, but we'll see. That might not happen this summer. So, any opinions on the existence of Sasquatch or Bigfoot? Yeah, that's really deep. I know there's a lot of people that are very passionate about that topic. Personally, I have never experienced anything at all, even remotely. I'll just put it this way: I have my doubts about that, about the existence of that. Part of me wants to believe it. I feel like there's might be some truth to it because it's a worldwide, you know, thing. You know, all around the world. They don't always call it Sasquatch, but so maybe something's going on. Maybe something at the supernatural level. I don't know. I'm just gonna let the rest of that go because I get you can make a whole video on that, but personally I've never experienced anything, and I'm not really, you know, like I said, I have my doubts, but I know I have viewers that have told me stories and stuff, so I think people are seeing something. What it is, I don't really know, so I'll just let that go. And are you ever concerned with encountering mountain lions or bears in certain areas? No, not one bit. Bears, I've encountered a number of bears in my videos, in my hikes, and no. Here in Pennsylvania, you don't have to worry about bears. Not really. Out west, it's different. But no. Mountain lions, not likely any mountain lions here in Pennsylvania. Even if there is, yeah, the likelihood of me running into one is scarce. So I'm not really worried about that at all. What's your favorite part of Michaud State Forest? Wow. Maybe places like Pole Steeple Trail, or the Pole Steeple, the Overlook, or Chimney Rocks. Those are pretty cool spots. Do you only travel in Pennsylvania and the surrounding areas? Would you ever think about traveling around Kentucky and places down there? I don't always travel just in Pennsylvania. Just recently I've been spraying out. I just got back from West Virginia. The plan is to go further afield, but you know that does take a lot more planning and, you know, finances and things like that. So I mean, sometimes it's about just filming within your budget. So that's a lot of times why, you know, I'm from Pennsylvania, so you know, that's where I do most of my filming. So no, I don't only travel in Pennsylvania. How did each mountain get their name and from whom? Wow. Most mountains are named by local people, I think. Like up where I live here is the Blue Mountain. I think it gets that name because of the color of it at certain times of the year. There's a mountain called Sharp Mountain because the top of it's kind of sharp. There's a mountain called Stony Mountain. So mountains are usually named by certain characteristics of them, and I think it's mostly just local legend or locals that name it, and it just kind of sticks. I think that's how it works for most of them. What is the weirdest thing you've ever seen in the woods? I don't really know how to answer that. And there's one thing that was kind of weird. It kind of startled me. I was hiking a pretty remote area where there's not much chance of seeing anybody, and look out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw a person, but here someone had taken like a hoodie or like a sweatshirt and like hung it up in a tree, like a tree with like the shape of a cross branch, and had the hoodie sitting up like this, so it looked like someone was out there in the woods. Kind of freaked me out for a moment. I'm not sure if that's weird, but that kind of hit my mind there. Have you been to the World's End State Park? Not yet. I'm hoping to get there this summer though. Did you ever find out what that plant was you didn't know? I'm not sure which plant you're talking about. There's been a number of videos where I don't know, not totally sure what the plant is, so I'm not really sure which video you're talking about there. I mean, sometimes I figure out what they are at home when I get home in the field guides, or sometimes a viewer will tell me. Can you do more paranormal videos? If you mean haunted videos, maybe I might do some more haunted videos, but I'm not really into the paranormal stuff. If I do a haunted video, I'm more interested in the legend behind, or the story behind the hauntings, not so much the paranormalness of it. About a year ago, you made a video of your shelter that you built in the woods. That's the neighbor kids. Did you intend to use it, and will you show us a video of it? I did. I've been there a couple times. I did sleep overnight there once. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back. I was back there this year just to check up on it because I was in the area. I don't know. I'm kind of have a lot of other things I want to do this summer, so I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure yet how to answer that. Will you be coming to Blair County anytime soon? Actually, I was there back in April. I was in Blair County. I didn't film. Well, yeah, actually I did film because when I did the high point of Center County, I actually had to park in Blair County. Of course, Blair County wasn't really the feature of that video. But yeah, I'm kind of playing on that. There's 3 county high points, Blair, Cambria, and Bedford County. They're all kind of right in that same area, right near Blue Knob State Park. So I'm hoping to get all 3 in one day. We'll see. We'll see, yeah. And I would like to probably camp at Blue Knob. And I'd like to make a video on the Johnstown flood, which is right there in that area too. So yeah, I do kind of plan on it. Do you know any haunted or abandoned places near Northampton, PA? Northampton, I think that's near, if that's near the Lehigh River, which I think it is. If you go to Copley or Hokendackwa, there's quite a few abandoned places there. I filmed some of them there. I'm not sure, as far as haunted goes, I'm not sure about that. Have you ever researched the archaeology of the Native Americans? Yes, I have, and I have done some videos on the Native Americans here in Pennsylvania. Hopefully, maybe there's one I'm planning on doing again this summer. Looking for something special. What is the most precarious situation you've ever been in while hiking? This example I'm going to give is not necessarily hiking. It's back when I was exploring coal mines. I was filming with someone else, and I kind of made a mistake. I left my backpack with my spare batteries at the entrance, and it was down there. And while we were down there, our lights started dying bit by bit. So we had to get going out of there. I mean, we had backup lights, but that was pretty precarious. Learned a valuable lesson from that. All right, hey friend, have you ever hiked the loop trail around Raystown Lake? Nope, I've been to Trough Creek State Park, but I don't think I've ever actually seen Raystown Lake. Sorry, but no, I never hiked the loop trail around there. Do you still live on your childhood farm? No. That's why I talk about a lot, because I don't actually live there anymore. What is your favorite memory of farm life? Wow. Yeah, I read this question earlier. Yeah, there was one, because I had goats on the farm. I love my goats. They were naughty, but the one memory I have is, yeah, it's a pleasant memory, but it was a chilly evening, and I went out to the barn. I had built them a new barn, and I went out there and I sat down in the barn in nice fresh hay, and one by one the goats all came and sat next to me and kind of cuddled up next to me, and it got kind of nice and warm. I can't remember that. Some goats like you more than others, but some of the friendlier ones came and sat right next to me, and then some of the ones that weren't as friendly, they saw the others and they all kind of just came and sat around me. It was pretty cool. There were a few that didn't come, but that was a fun memory. Whatever happened to your bushcraft camp debris shelter? Okay, another question about that. Is that something you'd ever get back into? Like I said, I might go back there. Like I was talking about starting that series, the campfire chat series. I might do that at that site. We'll see. But I like the bushcraft stuff, but I got a lot of other things I want to do too, so we'll see. Are you going to visit Gettysburg again this year? I'm not really sure. I don't really have any plans at the moment to visit Gettysburg, but I'm sure I'll be there some point in the future. If you had a chance to explore anywhere in California, where would you go? Also, what state would you choose if you got to pick? In California? Wow. I definitely want to get out there. The redwoods. I would definitely want to see the redwoods and the giant sequoia trees. There's so many places out there. Joshua Tree area. Yeah. Mount McKinley. But for the redwoods probably first. What state? Probably Alaska. I do hope to make a road trip to Alaska someday. Hopefully, we'll see. Have you ever had any spooky or paranormal experiences in the woods? Nope. Not that I know of, at least. Now that things have relaxed a bit, do you plan on doing any overnight camping this summer? Yes, I already have. I've done several. Because I was out in Western PA for 2 nights, and I just got back from West Virginia, where I was out for a night. And next week, I plan on doing going down to Maryland overnight too. So yeah, hoping to do a lot of that this summer. Any plans on filming in New Jersey or upstate New York in the future? I am planning on getting to New Jersey. I'm planning on camping in the Pine Barrens. Upstate New York, I don't know if that'll happen this summer or not. I think later on someone asked me about filming in the Adirondacks. There is a trip I'd like to make to get to the high point of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, but I'm not sure if that will happen this summer. It just depends on how things go. So we will see. Do you hike with JP videos or meetups any longer? Yeah, that was a topic that people have been asking me a lot about lately. That was a situation I was kind of need to walk away from for now, so that's all I'm going to say about that. If I might go to one of the meetups if they have some this summer. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. What is your favorite hiking spot and favorite waterfall? I don't really know that I have a favorite for those. I mean, recently I was out at Ohiopyle Falls and Cucumber Falls. Those were beautiful spots. Favorite hiking spot? Yeah, I don't really know what to say to that. Just so many spots that are just awesome. What's the scariest thing or oddest thing that happened to you on a day hike? I think that might go back to that finding that hoodie strapped up in the tree. That kind of startled me. Oddest thing? Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess that fits in with that too. Yeah, another scary thing that I guess maybe just came to mind, didn't happen to me, but it was when I was at Glen Onoko Falls, which is now closed, I guess. Some girl was, it's a really tall waterfall with a ledge, and some girl was sitting at the top with her legs dangling over. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. But that's kind of why that trail is closed now, because a lot of people got hurt up there by doing stuff like that. Because that ledge I've been up on that ledge, and it's really slippy up there, so to be like dangling your feet off the edge and stuff wasn't so smart. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. What model of GoPro do you use? I don't use GoPro, I use the DJI Osmo action camera, which is not a GoPro knockoff. It is just as good as the GoPro, if not better. So I did get a knockoff brand once, so don't, like, for 50 bucks, don't go that way. Either get a GoPro or the Osmo action. Have you ever been to Tank Hollow Overlook on the Lehigh Gorge State Park? Nope, not yet. A couple of people told me about it though. Have you ever become disoriented if I could talk? Have you ever become disoriented less than 30 yards from the trail? I would say no to that. Would you feel comfortable sharing a special childhood memory from growing up on the farm? I get that story about the ghosts, but I wasn't really a child then. I guess a childhood memory. For a while, my grandparents lived there. Actually, they're the ones that bought the place initially. But even when I was young, I had chickens. You know, I'd collect the eggs, and I guess a special memory would be taking when we had enough eggs for our needs. I would take the extras to Grandma, who lived in the other part of the house, Grandma and Grandpa, and she would always give me money for them. You know, I'd give her like 4 eggs and she'd give me like $1 or something, but maybe not every evening, but it was fun just going seeing her in the window, knocking on the door and giving her the egg. She's always so nice about that. But I kind of miss her. She died when I was in college. She got cancer. So anyway, that's kind of a special memory. My husband and I live near Binghamton, New York, and we enjoyed your videos on the hikes you did in New York. Will you be coming back again this year to New York? Maybe. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not sure. I might get up into southern New York there a little bit. We'll see. I have trips planned, and I have trips that are just kind of like forming in my mind. As you make your way, okay, that's a different question. They're offering something there. Will you ever put a channel sticker out in Cambria County, PA? I'm not sure offhand just yet. I think, isn't that where Johnstown is located in Cambria County? But like I said, I'm planning on making my way out there this summer sometime, so I might. We'll see. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I mean, I have plans in my mind for trips, but the channel stickers are come a little bit later for the planning. Will you be doing an overnight camp this summer? I think I've already answered that, so yes, I'll be doing quite a few of them. I've already done some. Any interest in hiking and filming in the Adirondacks? Oh yeah, there was that question. I mentioned that earlier. Yes, eventually, maybe, hopefully. Are you planning a return trip to Gettysburg? I think I already answered that question too. We'll see. Maybe. Have you ever seen any effects of climate change in your hikes in Pennsylvania? I'll have to say no to that. Not at all. There's one of those questions. Do you make any worthwhile money from YouTube videos? And for me, the answer is yes. but that can vary greatly depending on circumstances. You know, how many subscribers you have, how many views you get, how many videos you upload. Like, I've seen people complain about not making enough money on YouTube, but there are also people that don't upload regularly. You know, if you're only going to upload one video a month and then complain that YouTube doesn't pay you enough money, it's just like work. If you want to get paid, you gotta show up to work. So I upload pretty regularly. So yeah, it's my job. So I do pretty well with it. I'll say, I'm not gonna say how much, but yeah, for me it works out. Do you ever get ticks on your hikes? I think I answered that question already. Yes, I do. And how do I avoid them? I don't avoid them. You're gonna get them. Like I said, maybe wear long pants, use a little bug spray. But main thing is to check yourself when you get home, change your clothes. Because a lot of times they're on your clothes when you get home and not on you yet. Then later on in the evening, they might, if you don't change out of those clothes, they might find their way on your body then. Or take a shower too. Wash them off. Here's one. Why don't you do collabs on most of your regular hikes with other YouTubers? On most of my hikes, I think that's, if you understand who I am, you know, I enjoy the solitary aspect of my hikes. There's no way I would film with other people on most of my hikes. You know, occasionally I do film with someone on a hike, but most of the time there's no way I would do that. I mean, yeah, I enjoy just being out hiking by myself, and I feel like that's where I film the best too, is when I'm out by myself. It depends on who I'm with too. Sometimes certain people make it difficult to film around, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm not much of a social butterfly, I guess that's the term to use. I like to film. I like to go and hike and film by myself for the most part. Do you ever keep track of how many miles you've hiked? Well, I think I've had that question before. If not, what would you estimate them to be? So, like overall, I don't know overall how much I've hiked. So, not even close overall. In your travels and explorations, have you discovered a source creek with the infamous orange mine water near Pine Grove? I think he says he did years ago. Depends on what your definition of near Pine Grove is. If you mean an immediate Pine Grove area, I would say no. There's no coal mining in the immediate area, but just north of Pine Grove there's coal mining. And I have found sources of that orange water, you know, in the outskirts of Pine Grove and the surrounding areas, maybe, yes. How do you find how do you find the out-of-the-way places you visit? Lots of research, I would say. Lots of help from other sites on YouTube, other websites, just ideas from other people. You know, just after a while you get a knack for finding those places on the internet or just on maps and stuff. I like maps. Like here's those purple lizard maps, even like National Geographic maps. They have trails. Watching other people's videos will help you too. Alright, I hope I'm not too late on this. What has been the longest hiking time on a single trail? If you mean like in one day, I did about 15 mile. Several times I did 15-mile hikes in one day on the Appalachian Trail. What northeastern Pennsylvania trail would you recommend to other hikers? Northeastern Pennsylvania Trail. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't done a ton of hiking in northeastern PA. I know the Seven Tubs Trail is pretty cool. If you hike the whole trail, the Seven Tubs spot is pretty neat in itself. But there's a loop trail you can do there too. Man, I need to get up there some more. I'm not sure what to answer to that one. I'm trying to think of one that, because I've been up there, but I'm trying to think of one that sticks on my mind quite a bit more. Maybe I'll get back to you on that one. Is there a trail you would never revisit? Man, I read that one earlier. I was trying to think. So you guys ask hard questions. So I got to think a little bit more. You know, the Delaware Water Gap is in northeastern Pennsylvania. I forgot about that. I've been up there many times. But yeah, there's a ton of trails to hike up there. I would recommend almost any of them. Recently I did the Tom's Creek Trail, the Hornbeck's Creek Trail, all the trails at the Pocono Environmental Education Center. They have some cool trails. There's a lot, almost anywhere in the Delaware Water Gap is an awesome trail hike. The trail to Mount Mincy, it's pretty cool. As far as ones that I would never revisit, nothing comes to mind, to be honest, so maybe later on something will pop in mind. But I can't think of one in particular that comes to mind. Would you ever want to to live off grid, maybe find an old house to fix it up. Yeah, same with like the tiny home question. Yeah, wouldn't mind living off grid. I'd have to have internet access though. You can get that via satellite, I think, though. In order to make my videos and stuff, do my research, I need internet. But yeah, living off grid, I'd love to find an old home, fix it up. That's one of my dreams, actually. Either that or the tiny home. Let's move up here. Love your channel. Could you possibly recommend any other YouTube channels that you would like to share? Wow, other YouTube channels. Let me think about that one for a moment. Yeah, so there's any number of channels, but a few that I might throw out. One is called Aqua Trigger. A lot of you are familiar with him. I like his videos. Yeah, he does a lot of metal detecting, but he does a lot of history and stuff. He does some nature-y stuff too on some of his hikes. Some of his hikes he doesn't really necessarily do hiking. He just does a lot of exploring. Then there's Appalachian History Detectives. It's another good channel. Todd does that channel. I'm actually gonna hopefully meeting up with him in a week or so, do some filming with him. Another channel that I kind of like is, well, I do like Green Mountain Metal Detecting. He seems like a pretty cool guy. He doesn't just metal detect, he like searches for the history of the areas that he metal detects. It's pretty cool. And there's probably a ton of other channels I could recommend, but I'll just give you those three for now. Alright, have you caught up with Mike from Out Naturing? He hasn't posted a video in over 5 weeks now. I'm not sure where he is or what he's doing at the moment. I haven't really heard from him either. I'm not sure if he's still on trail or not. He was posting a few videos. I think he did some live streams and some Instagram stuff. So I'm not really sure. I did see a few Instagram posts recently. So I'm not really sure where he's at right now. I haven't really been communicating with him. Maybe I should reach out to him. I know you're not a big fan of driving near Philadelphia. But have you ever been to Fort Mifflin? Not yet. I was hoping to get to it last summer, but I never did. But yeah, I would like to get there someday. Fort Mifflin is on my list. How do you layer clothing for backpacking in cold weather? I guess I do just that. I just layer. I have those long sleeve t-shirts, and sometimes I put a short sleeve t-shirt over top of that. I do have those base layers, they're called, like we called it long underwear when we were little. I have lightweight one, midweight, and heavyweight ones, depending on how cold it is. So usually, a lot of times I'll put my lightweight one on, and then maybe a long sleeve t-shirt over that, and then my heavier coat. So that way you can take, the idea of layering is that you can take layers off as the day heats up or as you hiking warm up. That's kind of what I do. What kind of camera do you use to get the zoom? I think I mentioned it already. It's the Sony AX43. I'll put it down here. How did you come up with the name Naomi for your Jeep? I figured that question would come up. Yeah, I think I hinted at it earlier in another video, but some of the people I film with, some of the friends that are on my videos sometimes that you see, the one girl's name is Naomi, and I forget what happened. It was something we were all talking about in the Jeep together. I think I mentioned that my Jeep didn't have a name anymore. I didn't have a name yet, and it just kind of happened. So it's one of those things where you kind of had to be there. That's who it's named after, is her. All right, looks like there's only 2 more questions. Someone wants to suggest a series for me on the French and Indian War, Aqua Trigger. Yeah, I watch his stuff, so I've been watching his videos of that. What do you teach? Are you full-time or substitute? Right now I'm just part-time. I think I mentioned this past. I work with homeschool groups. I only teach several days a week now, because back to the whole do you make money on YouTube thing? Yes. So I've been able to cut back on the teaching so I can film more, so I have a nice little balance between the two. Right now I just teach science. In the past I've taught math and history and things like that too, but right now it's just science. Alright, that's it for the questions. I'm going to quick run through them again, make sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, so I believe that is it for the questions. Hopefully I answered your questions. I know some I maybe didn't give quite the answer you wanted, but some of those questions were a little bit difficult. When it comes to like what's your favorite this or that, I like trails and stuff. I have so many places I've been to, it's kind of hard to pick a favorite. So anyway. Alright, but thanks for joining me out here in the backyard. It's a beautiful morning out here. So I'm not sure when I'll upload this video. I might upload it out of order with everything else. We'll see. Alright, I gotta get going. I'm gonna go stop by my sister's antique shop. I think a viewer dropped something off for me there that I gotta pick up. So I'm gonna go visit her. All right, hope you're doing great, and I'll see you out in the woods, hopefully.